what 16600 is really a wine of place. When I say a wine of place, there are wines that are terroir driven from distinct vineyards, and these are vineyards that I grow. The name 16600 comes from our address, and you can't get more than a sense of place than having your address on the label.
You know, when we moved up here, it was like hippies and crazy people living in the mountains, and now it's, you know, billionaires and rock stars and my dad.
You know, I was growing up, one of the famous lines as a kid was question authority. So if anybody tries to outline how I'm supposed to live, I'm going to question that and put it in how I think it fits into my lifestyle. The first time I made wine with my father was in 1963. I looked at 1965 as the one I really was cognizant of it. At that point I was 13 years old, 12, 13 years old. So it's been quite a while I've been involved in wine. If you think about 50 years ago, in 1965, was definitely a cultural revolution in the United States. And growing up in San Francisco, reading Herb Caen, Ralph J. Gleason, seeing the Rolling Stone magazine come out, the counterculture being surrounded by it, being a Catholic school kid that, again, wanted to look for a way out, so to speak. And it was a natural back to the earth movement as it started to come together. All these things sort of coalesced.
We feel that the way that we farm, and that if you create harmony and balance in the vineyard, you're gonna have harmony and balance in the wine. You know, it starts in the vineyard.
Why does that make sense?
It just makes sense, you know. The adage in the wine business is that, you know, you can't make good wine from bad grapes, but you can make bad wine from good grapes, right?
Yeah.
So you got to start with good grapes, and that's, you know, that's where our focus is. 16600 is a vineyard focused winery. We only make vineyard designates. We really do very little manipulation in the winery. No new oak. We want the vineyards to shine. There's great wines out there, and they have a lot of style from a winemaker, and winemakers are rock stars. We think that the vineyards are the rock stars, and
I love that.
In this case, you know, they're rocky rock stars.
I like the idea of looking at the vineyards that I've developed and how people say, well, that's a Phil Kotori vineyard. It was done with a sensitivity to the environment. It was done with the basic premise of wanting to grow the best possible fruit from that location, and that's what I'm most proud of, and because I think we've pulled it off in more than one place.
You know, maybe in the beginning people thought he was just kind of a kook. They thought he was crazy to try and do grapes organically. From our standpoint, you know, dealing with a luxury good, once winemakers started to demand fruit that Phil grew because it made wine that tasted better, a lot of that kind of went by the wayside.
30 years ago, organic and natural foods, you know, health foods, you know, it was sort of, you know, we were hippies that were doing this. But if you think about it, all we were doing at that period was drawing on our ancestral farming practices.
You can start to see, like, this is a bell bean, this is the peas, this is like oats, and, you know, later in the year, bell beans are a nitrogen fixer. So you can pull out one of these bell beans and there's these little pink nodules all over the roots, and they're just literally like little balls of nitrogen. So as that breaks down, it's just releasing nitrogen into the soil and feeding your plants without ever, you know, spending money on a chemical fertilizer or some nitrogen, or, you know, something that you can pick up at, you know, your ag supply. This is the best fertilizer in the world.
Sam was born an old soul, so to speak. And, I'm really fortunate I'm able to work with both my sons.
We have this opportunity to express something unique because of the way that we farm and where our vineyards are, and we want to take advantage of that. We want to express that and share it with people who love good wine.
You can't force your kids to do anything, but hopefully that they see it and they just take away parts of that legacy, and then it's a fulfillment. What's going to happen in 10, 20 years, who knows, but hopefully we'll all be drinking good wine.